this pintle hitch trailer. It's so easy to hook up to. You just line everything up, back right into it. Once you do it a few times, you know exactly where things need to be. There we are. Just like that. Simple enough. We'll jack down. We're gonna get the Ranger off here and leave it here with the skid steer. Then we're gonna move the skidder first thing this morning because they're calling for some bad weather this week. Rain, snow, freezing rain, winter mix. So really, I think today and maybe just a little bit of tomorrow, we're gonna have to run pretty hard just to get what we got cut out, which is I was off gallivanting across Missouri yesterday buying Peterbilt trucks. Dad was over here cutting, which is a good thing. And he's got a bunch of them on the ground. So we'll go over here and get the skidder, get over to the job site, which is about 4 miles from here, and we'll get going. You can kind of see those clouds over there in the west moving in. That's that front starting to build. 548 running up this little lane here. These are pretty good trees. If you seen the video from Christmas Day, that's where these are, and pretty excited to drag these out. Dad thinks we can roll on them pretty quick, which said even if it takes all day, we're going to try to get out what we can, try to get this little deal finished up. I think it was only 40 trees, something like that. I'm not really sure what's over here as far as tree count. I just know it's some pretty good walnut for the size anyway, and there's a few quality logs in here. Like I've said before, I love them every one, so I don't discriminate against the better ones and the not so better ones. These big devils here, they're what it takes. A lot of footage in this log. It's got a real good 12 foot. Right there, there's kind of a cat face or blind knot as we call them right there. A little bit of a swell, so we'll try to cut it there, maybe just a little bit behind it because it might run the risk of being double hearted right there. I don't know that it will be, but we'll see about it later when we get it to the deck. I'll come back and I'll get that little guy there cut off. Then Dad's on up the creek here cutting. So we're making pretty quick progress this morning, but in the midst of making quick progress, it's hard to video much. This is a nice stand of timber right here. See down this little ditch, there's so many young walnut trees growing. It's so promising for the next harvest, which will probably be, you know, there's some in here on the verge that could probably go 5 to 7 pretty easy on the next harvest, but personally I think I'd rather see it 7 to 10. A lot of young trees through here. A lot of young trees. Of course, we can go through here, thin out these bigger ones, open up the canopy, give these younger guys like this a good chance, let them have some more of that sunlight, less competition from things soaking up water and other stuff out of the ground like this big guy here. Now we just got a few trees left on this job. Get out. I think we got 1 or 2 left to cut, and I think I've got 3 left to bring out aside from what's left to cut. So we're making some pretty good headway on it. So I got in a little cutting. 1 tree, 2 tree. Those are the only 2 trees I've cut on this job. Other than some ones that have been hung up and I pulled down. Dad pretty much muscled this one by himself this weekend. Pretty good bunch of logs. Not too bad. We'll see if we can get this one out. Then this one here, I'm going to pull it out of that brush there. I've tried to fall them treetops. Of course, that one there, Dad had already fell it, but I tried to fall this one back in between it. Of course, you can see I split them 2 trees there with it. So I'm going to pull it up a little bit, get it trimmed up, cut that top up a little bit, let it sit on the ground. It'll help it break down a little faster. We'll get this thing wrapped up. Well, that's another one in the books right there. Got them all out. I think there's somewhere close to 40 trees. So not a bad little bunch. I expect there's probably right around 7,500 board feet, and I guess they could go as high as 8. I don't think they'll average 200 feet a tree, but I think they'll get fairly close. They've got some height going for them. Of course, some of these things got some size. Just a good clean set of logs. Creek bottom stuff that grows down here and fights for the canopy, competes a lot with other trees, so they've got no option but to grow tall and straight. Of course, there's a couple hogs in here, kind of like this one here. That's a little heavy on sap on this one side. See, this other side's a little thinner sapped. That's all right. Ain't gonna hurt it. The size more than makes up for it. You know, these trees here, Dad come over here. I think first it was Christmas Day, you know, after the log sale. I asked him if he wanted to go cut trees. He thought he'd just kind of go home and have an easy day. Well, that was fine because I had cleanup to do. Of course, when I no more got started cleaning up, been on about an hour or so, and he calls me, and I'm assuming that one, this one, or this guy right here is one of these big pigs he said he cut. And then I think he finished up over here Saturday, because I was on the road Saturday, and of course yesterday being Sunday, I went to get the Peterbilt with Brandon. Now, I think yesterday he cut on another farm that goes with this place, south of here, maybe 4 or 5 miles. And I'm pretty sure he cut some decent walnut down there yesterday too. I know they're calling for weather moving in this week. I thought tomorrow, sometime midday, late afternoon, but I think they've pushed that back to starting tonight sometime with the rain, which, call me old, but my knee and my ankle have been hurting on my left leg all day, so I don't know if that means we're going to get weather or not. Maybe it just means that my left leg ain't no good. Regardless, if we do get some rain and wet weather, I know it's supposed to be a wintry mix. If we do get that, we'll bring in the 333 on this other deal. And I think we can get everything there and snake it out to a hard deck where we can still load out. These here, I'm going to bring the skid steer in and get these sorted out anyway. There's enough of them. Which luckily coming in here, we've got good solid roads because they've got gravel bases on them. It might get a little greasy in here, especially if we get 2 inches of steady rain. It might get a little soft, especially over in this part of the world, but I think we'll be all right. So I can't really promise what the rest of the week's going to look like as far as our videos and how many we're going to make, because the days that we're really not in the woods or doing something like that, I just don't make videos. Answer a couple questions. Somebody commented yesterday, I believe it was, if all we cut's walnut. That's not all we cut, but that's all I prefer to cut. You guys that have watched the channel for a long time know that we do cut a substantial amount of walnut timber in a year's time, but you guys also know we cut some other species as well. Ash, maple, which in the coming weeks over here, you're going to see us start cutting some ash and maple on some of these jobs. And the reason we don't cut a lot of that stuff, some of these markets for us right here in the Midwest are pretty stale. So I try to use my best judgment on timber stands. If it's not going to be a profitable time for myself or my landowners, there's really no need to cut that timber. The way I see it, unless they absolutely need it cut, we'll cut it. But for the most part, unless we've got good markets and good outlets for it, like right now that red oak market's kind of in the tanks, and our white oak, post oak, bur oak, stuff like that still moving really good. But we don't come across a lot of stuff like that. You'll see us cut more bur oak and some post oak than you will anything. We don't see a whole lot of white oak anymore. We just don't have a lot of it here where we're at. We're fortunate enough that we do hunt the walnut pretty hard, so we try to stay in it, of course. But for years and long before I was ever here, you know, my family's kind of developed that reputation for being, you know, pretty premier in the walnut harvesting here in Southwest Missouri. So I just stick to what I know and try to do what I'm good at. So anyway, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to head out of here. I'm going to go get my Ranger and take it home, get it out of the weather, because I don't think we're going to need it this week, get it off the job site. I've got the pintle hitch hooked up, so I'll just leave it hooked up, and tomorrow's kind of up in the air. We're just going to wait and see what the weather does. If we do get some bad weather this week, if we make any videos, it'll probably be some cab over type videos, because I've already been calling around about some parts and stuff that I'm going to do to it. It ain't going to be nothing real elaborate. Ain't going to be any show truck stuff like that, but I do want to get it to where it looks pretty sharp going down the road. It's really a solid old truck and runs out good, and it for its year model, it's in pretty decent shape. So we're pretty excited to play around with it a little bit, and it's just kind of a toy, but it's going to be a functional toy. We'll put it that way. We're still going to use it from time to time. So I guess everybody kind of needs a hobby, and those things are fun. So guys, I'm going to get out of here. Have a good week. Have a happy new year. We'll see you later. Hey guys, if you like what you see, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for all of our latest videos.